Hello, Marie.
Hello, Lilou.
Exciting to have you here today on Skype to do this interview. I think it's a very special topic we're going to discuss here, one that many people talk about around the world, but I think it's one of those things that are assisting us in the shift. So thank you for being this, can we say alchemist?
Well, I'm not quite. I am the alchemist assistant. I'm thrilled to meet you and to be one of your interviewees.
Ah, thank you.
Because you do such a good job throughout the world.
Thank you. We have a very special friend in common, Chantal, that told me about you. I mean, I've heard of you for quite some time now, and lately she gave me those little special bottles here that I have here in my hands, and I'm trying them. These are essential oils. A lot of us have heard of essential oils, but there is something very particular with these. And I would love to learn all about it, and I'm sure a lot of people and beautiful co-creators watching around the world would love to hear more. Why even, you know, essential oils are, or these kinds of oils are efficient? What happens through the smell, through these fragrance, through?
Well, the essential oils, Michael likes to call them essence, is the life force of the plant. Okay. So when we make a blend, we have several life force going on, and it's crucial to mix the right one. So what you're doing is inhale or put them on your feet or on your wrist, is you are taking advantage of the life force of the plant and put them in your body, because any smell, 2 drops even, goes fully in your body in 21 minutes, okay? Which is a difference from a perfume which stays there for hours because it's synthetic. The perfume no longer used to have 10% of essential oil in it, and now you're lucky if they have 1 or 2%.
Wow.
So they lead to a lot of problems, like asthma is one of them, you know, but the price is right, so the people buy. But the true essential oil made with products that have been watched over, Michael always say, look at who gave you, who produced the oil, what country it's coming from, how it's distilled. You know, because if you distill for longer than the plant gives its best at the beginning, and if you go like lavender to the end of the batch, you are going to have much less, you know, benefit from it. As a matter of fact, in the United States, we are supposed to import more lavender than the French produce. Come on, you know, that means that it has been coupé, you know, cut and distilled and used lesser quality. So with Michael, who has the nose of the perfumer.
We're talking of Michael
Zayat, who is an Egyptian alchemist. He has a nose that the perfumer are looking for, which means that he humes, he knows the plant, he knows if it's a good product or a bad product, if it's fake or if it's natural. And since I buy the oils from him, I know the quality of the product is fabulous.
So how do you know to mix them up? Why is this one aura booster? Why is this? I'm using the spinal cleanse right now in the morning to do my Kriya yoga and I mean, I know things are happening in my body. I can feel it, but why do you choose this plant versus another?
Well, that's the beauty of the alchemist. And you are born with it. Michael Zayat. Zayat means maker of oil. So he's a generation of alchemists himself. When I said 7 generations, he said, why limit me? So he has done from generation from Egypt, or actually Syria, you know, where they used to make the oils in the old days. So why would you mix that's really the don, the gift of the person. He would say, when 3 or 4 people meet, they are having a lot of fun, and but if a 5th or a 6th person come and join in, the momentum is gone. And same with the oil. You have to know which one likes which one goes with which one, and so forth. For example, the citrus can mix with a lot of oils, or the conifer, but they don't necessarily mix together. The citrus is more all the archangels one, all for example, we have one called beautiful, to help you shed weight or feel right, and it's full of mandarin, tangerine, orange, and so forth, neroli. But you wouldn't mix conifer with it. The conifer is more for, let's say, health. Beautiful oils that you have. Épinette noire. You have black spruce in spinal cleanse, and you were talking about releasing your neck, and that's because there is ingredient number 1 is black spruce, and black spruce relaxes the muscle. So of course it's going to make you feel better because of this. Plus it has St. John's wort, which will penetrate on it. And what I like on the spine is because it has a mixture of what we have as fungus and virus, and then we add those 3 oils.
But how do you know the quantity though, and that those are more efficient than the other? How do you prove the efficiency of this?
Well, either you know or you try. I actually created this one, the spinal cleanse, because I was always asking Michael, for an oil for my back, because I suffer from scoliosis, and I just mix, try and error, and this one was a seller, a beauty right away. It was the right mix. But sometimes you can do it and it's missing a little, so you have to try and error. And often when I create an oil nowadays, I would do, for example, when I did Light of God, which Michael created before going to Egypt one time, but he didn't take the formula. And there was something in it that we fought for years to bring back. If you don't put down the formula, then you are missing that little lift up of maybe petit grain or neroli or jasmine or whatever. So when we tried to recreate several trials, and that's how consciousness was created, because we tried, it was not what we were looking for, but it was mighty good, So we put it on the market, and consciousness is one of my favorite for reaching higher dimension. You are in touch, and it's one of the one with the most oils in it. We have, you can see it has verbena, mandarin, tangerine, lavender, tsuga, petit grain, rosewood, frankincense, lemongrass. It's one with a lot of them, but the combination is beautiful, and it's one that I sell a lot. And a friend of mine, I'm jumping, but a friend of mine from Japan was in a crisis of going from the 3rd to the 5th dimension, and she didn't know what to do. It was Kundalini rising plus, and she grabbed an oil, which was consciousness, and immediately she settled. She found her way. She reached. Why before she didn't know what she was in to fear. So I know it works for helping people reach a higher dimension.
Yeah, so you would use that maybe before doing a meditation, for example, or if things are hectic during the day, because I know there's so many mixes that exist. It's like, and these can be expensive. So how do we know what our body or what is best for us? Because this is all tempting, but then, you know, I have 3 and I'm already like, what am I taking? Venus today, or a booster, or spinal cleanse?
Okay, Michael's answer to that is you can take 3, no more. But an hour or 2 later, let's say if someone is sick, you can take 3 again. My favorite in the morning is Immune Up, and then consciousness. And I use consciousness at night too. So I sleep in my dreams and go to higher planes.
Nice.
Okay, so that's consciousness. Immune Up, I just love it. It balances you and it keeps you healthy. And I use it not once, not twice, but 3 or 4 times a day. I have it on my desk. I have it in my pockets. I gift it to people, and because even before a flu symptom or shows up, if I take on the wrist, and what you want is to have it in the veins, so it goes enter your body the faster, because remember 21 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it's here.
Yes, you reach there or there or there, you know, and wherever you have a vein, you know, so it enters immediately, fully. Okay. And
Chantal
many
showed
times
me that you have to kind of you can clear it also a little bit like that and move it around, no?
Yes, you can. Or a booster would be a good way, you know, to use. Or I have a friend in Paris who is a wonderful healer. He mixed the aura booster with water, you know, pure water, and he put a few drops and sprays the customer after the session.
Nice.
And that still smells aura booster. So that's one way to, I wouldn't advertise it, but that's one way to get it cheaper, you know.
Yeah.
And another one that I put in the water is beautiful, because it's orange, you know, any orange or any plants from the garden you can put in your body. Is
it more efficient to have a combination or just it? Because, for example, when I was in New York last time, somebody gifted to me the pamplemousse, you know, the grapefruit one, and I've used it, and she said it's good for jet lag, which I thought this makes sense, because when you smell it, it's refreshing and it's citrusy and it wakes you up, and it's probably better than melatonin. But I'm wondering if it's better to have just one thing or a mix of things, and how does that? What's the difference?
I like the blend, but you can do on the airplane, for example, I use Immune Up, because I don't want to grab the virus and so forth that are. So I always have that, and the people next to me and go and say, what is this nice smell that I, you know, feel? And many times host steward, something like that, has a big flu, and I give him that and he stops immediately. People are amazed. So I would go to that, but lavender you can use anytime. The conifer, you know, we have one mix which has all the conifer together, you know, from the forest in Quebec. And that's one that you can do. It's a natural antibiotics. So I like to use that, but you know, you can go sinus, or you can go breathing, or you can go. This will deal with breathing issue and health issue. But for the answer to it depends. I like to use fennel a lot, because it's one for digestion, you know, along with tarragon and peppermint. You know, we have digest, and I find the fennel extremely useful for me because gas is an issue that I have, and this immediately settles the stomach, and help you digest. So I take it separately. Otherwise, I much prefer the blend.
How do you explain? How do you explain that Japanese love this so much? I mean, why do they? Why is it the most popular over there? Because you live in the U.S. I mean, and you're French, and and this goes around. And obviously, he's Egyptian.
Okay. And here's a secret: Drambalo used to carry our oils, and he went to a workshop in Japan, and they took along, some of our oils, which ended up in the top aromatherapist in Japan at that time, which was Kanjuro. And Kanjuro sent me a note saying, I smell this, they smell good. Could you send me 3 or 4 more? And after that, he said, good. So to make a long story short, 2 years later, Michael and I went to Japan. He gave a workshop, and we had 35 people with the top aromatherapist there, and Michael offered to give the spiritual workshop, and they just loved it because this was not done then. That was 10 years ago or 11 years ago, and we introduced it in Japan because people liked it and it was new, and in France, the spiritual aromatherapy, they were saying, no, he's out of his mind, because they are French aromatherapy, which is go by the rule. So Japan really jumped on it, and then Michael created an oil for each one, centered to each person. And then on, we just kept on spreading and still do. So spiritual aromatherapy is what brought us into Japan, plus the fact that we deliver very fast, and within a week the oils are in their hand. They like that.
Yeah. And why do you think? Because I mean, I guess we're talking of the smell here, but there's the sound healing too that is very powerful, and there's so many things going on, right, for our spiritual awakening. But what is the role? Going back to my first question, but what is really why does it work? Why does it work so well? I get that it's part of the essence of nature, and that we're gonna get the benefits of those plants, but it's still wondrous, It's still quite mind-boggling to know that these blends can really help us.
Okay, remember when you are born, the infant, the first thing he does is he smells his mother. He doesn't recognize the sound, the touch, it's a smell. So many times someone said, oh, it reminds me of my grandmother, my garden, my this and that. So it go back to the root, go back to your essence, to your soul. And if it's done well, we have seen, I have seen an article from a doctor from Iran or Turkey or something like that, raised here, and he said why he was doing diffusing aromatherapy in the hospital. He said, why when we go to the hospital we smell yuck, why? In my garden, in my childhood, it was a rose, it was a beautiful scent. So people are, of course, sensitive to a good smell, because 70 to 80% of aromatherapy in the US are not pure. They call it natural. They have lower quality. They cut it to make more money, So you have to be very sure of the quality and where you get your oils from. And so when you have that, you just reach the person's oleo factory, it goes directly to the back of their head, and it brings a sense of well-being, wow. the cooking, like when you enter the kitchen, you feel good about it. And if on top of that, it uplifts you, it raises you toward God or toward the universe or toward, why not?
Yeah. Is this, how did you see your, talking about you a little bit, but your own evolution? Because I know you've done John Vallo's workshop many years ago, and you've created one of those mix, the 4D shift out of that. But how did you see your own evolution?
And Merkaba and Flower of Life.
Wow.
How did I do? My background is 6 years with Paris Match in Washington, and then I bought their file and started Internews Media Internewsletter, which was a newsletter in French on Africa. So I kept that for 13 years and interviewed many ministers and presidents and so forth. And then I didn't know what to do, and I did massage, tarot, astrology, name it. And when I did the massage, I went to Quebec for a conference that was there every year, and Michael Zayat was selling his oils. He said, you should try this, it's good for your business and so forth. So one day I bought 3 or 4 or 5, and my customer loved it, and I went back and went back and went back because he said, you will be back. So that's how I met him and started it. And a year later, I interviewed him, and my interview 15 years ago was how essential oils can uplift and help us spiritually.
Nice.
And that was not done then. So I asked him to create some oils for that purpose, and we did, the chakra, meditation, Om, like you said, 4D shift and Merkaba and Flower of Life and many others, and he created later on, pineal gland, and, as John Vallo would talk about things, I said, can you create that? Can you create that? Pituitary, thymus, name it, because they all have a heart chakra. They all have a way to love. They all have a way to uplift you, So I created quite a few with him after that, co-create. And now I basically can create for people. Most of them, if I have a problem, I ask him.
Nice. That is quite something. That is quite something to know that we have access to rapid and quick shifts right now. Absolutely.
And you see a big difference. For example, Immune Up, when people have gone through whatever they choose to go through, their immune system is down, and that's why they are sick. Or when they have an allergy, we sell allergy, but I recommend always go Immune Up, rebuild your system so you don't have allergy, so you don't need allergy, or for asthma, for example, it's get rid of all the fake product around you, including in the kitchen, and your asthma will disappear. Candle is a big one. Incense is another one, because nowadays the incense is not the frank incense. It's mostly a fake product with strawberry and bananas or apple or name it, And the pure frankincense that we had in church, in the old days with the smell that used to uplift us, raise our vibration, is practically gone, or unless you go to Tibet or get special thing. So we live in a world where fake is and cheap is the norm, but it's expensive because those products are using the best quality, the best plant, the best distillation, and of course the plant gives its best thing. Let me show you. Michael showed us that through microscope, some plants, not every plant and not every tree can be distilled, but some plants have little pockets of the essence of the energy that through distillation, which means send some warm, not hot, but warm water through where you put the branches or the flowers, or they explode, they open, and they are the one that we recover in a small bottle like this, This size, which is a 30 ml, 1 ounce, would come up of a thing of plants or flowers the size of this table. You only recall this. Same thing with lavender. So when you can recover the best of the best, after that it's easy to mix, and you try and say, you use your sixth sense. For example, Erotica, that's our latest product. It's made of blue spruce. Blue spruce is a spruce from Canada. It's a conifer, Colorado spruce. Has a highest vibration, higher than the rose, which is supposed to be the top. So I said, whoa, I want this. I put it on my back, and you could try too, because it's immediately corrected the pain that I had. And I said, well, to sell it, let's make it with something nice. And I put ylang ylang. So those two with a little bit of Angelica does wonder. And it's our latest, and it's becoming our best sell. Why? Because the blue spruce is a phenomenal original oil that needs only a touch of this or that, But it could be blue spruce with any other oil. It's up to you to create, and that's a fun part about creation. Yeah. You can try with...
But here it's erotica, it's not love making, or it's erotica. Ooh la la.
Why not? Why not?
I know.
we need good oil there too. I got fabulous answers, testimonial on that. But it's just to show you the quality of the oil is the reason why it works. Yeah. Okay? And how it's
well, I'm convinced, because each time I use it, my neck just pops. I've seen it. Then there is some, maybe like here, Venus, for example. What is it good for compared to erotica? You have ylang ylang, orange, mandarin, grapefruit, jasmine, cinnamon.
Well, it would work the same, but I would say it's more the atmosphere around, what you want to achieve. Why erotica is boom, you put it on your lower thing or on your back or wherever, but they both work for that same purpose. But I would say erotica is pinpoint, Venus is just smelling so great. I created that at the workshop in Japan, because we were, when Michael gave a workshop, he has 20 or 30 oils that he offers to the people, and they pick and choose. And I created that one while we were at the thing, and I say, ooh, let me add some jasmine. Ooh, so
beautiful.
But Venus is also one of my favorite. We used to have Valentine, which I reintroduced again to the Valentine. Is full of citrus, and it's nice. And a Valentine is more si tu veux draguer, if you want to go and search for a mate at the party or thing like that. Valentine is a good one.
Oh my God!
Several friends of mine said, but the Venus is more, if you are in the mood, if you want to surround yourself with the vibration of love, that would be the one I would choose.
Excellent. Is there something else we need to know about essential oils in general and related to our awakening?
I would say I mentioned the life force on it, so you have to be careful. More is not necessarily better, 2 or 3. Sometimes I get a phone call from someone who has, and they use half a bottle. You use 2 or 3, 2 or 3 drops will do the work. It does not need. So you can damage yourself if you put too many of them. I would say get Fearless, because Fearless is a very simple one with Canadian sugar and nard. Canadian sugar is the Quebec conifer, which remove fear. For example, if someone is dying, you want to help their passage by putting some under their feet or under their thing. It will remove it has been proven with the Meroy Givaudan. So in order to reach the consciousness, remove the fear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the essential oil would be there, and then discover, be ready, be enthusiastic, bring your passion.
Because that's one thing, but this doesn't, because I believe spirituality, and consciousness, it's our call to put it in action and to live it daily. So this is an access for us, could we say, to be more aligned and then take those right actions in our life or attract the things that are aligned. Because this isn't, there's some real work to do too. So this is one of the aspects for our awakening, but not...
Yeah, do it together.
We can't put just all our focus just on that, right?
No, but you can add. Yes. For example, when people come to my place, they go, wow, the fragrance is, the smell is so empowering. It uplifts you, puts you in a higher state. Yeah. And then you can do your work. Yes. Or meditation is another one we have. So it's it does not replace, but it certainly helps.
Yeah. It raises your vibration. It realigns you for the best things and the best scenario so that we can live our best scenario.
And it gives you strength, or it stress out, release the stress that you come up with, at the end of the day. Yeah. So you can relax and go into a higher dimension, or theta, or whatever.
Yeah, which one is good for the sleep and good dreams and having a good rest?
Sleep well.
Sleep well. So
sleep well, you put on your pajama or your...
not the veins?
Nightgown. No, nightgowns. It's closer, or even under... Some people put it on their mustache.
Yeah.
So Michael is very good at putting... Sleep well is one of those... mandarin, orange, sugar, lavandin, petit grain, and chamomile. It's citrus. Now, one thing that people should know is that you have some oils that are dermocaustic, which means they can hurt you because they are too strong, like oregano, like cinnamon, like thyme, not thyme, but on the borderline, like tansy. So you have to be careful with those. So it's always best to try on a place where you don't go to the sun with them.
No, and here it can be a little bit too strong sometimes. I feel on the skin.
But if you do the immune up, it's the fastest way, to stop a problem or health challenge or. So I think that the essential oil are the tool of the future to be happy in the fifth dimension. You leave the third dimension behind and the stress and and you are able to expand and discover and create. And we have another one called creating. You can do it's endless.
Yes.
There's no limit to what you can do, but it needs a little gift, to be able to combine. You can try yourself, but many people have tried to put the same ingredient as we did, but they pretty soon reorder because it's not the same. Here is the same.
These are very special. Alchemist oils. That's the name.
alchemistoil.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marie-Benoîte. You're so lovely. Oh my God, I'm glad we got to meet on Skype. Next time I'll come and visit you in Washington, D.C.
Yes, please.
Or you come often to Paris too. Maybe next time we will be in Paris.
I will. Okay. Thank you, and continue your beautiful work. Beautiful.
Merci.
Very needed.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
À bientôt.
À bientôt. Juicy.